All right, all right. Want to welcome everybody back to our podcast, episode number 2. What's going on? Value of the Village, Akibalan Village. And you have your host here, Rhonda Kennedy. And who else do we have?
Marvis Cofield.
All
It's
right, Mr. Cofield. Well, welcome back. Welcome back.
good to be
And
back.
before we get started into today's topic, which I think is going to be very interesting, I'd like to just kind of segue back into what we talked about last week. And with that being said, we had a question, a music challenge question that was posed by Mr. Cofield. And we have winners. So I'd like to just give a shout out to the winners. So the very first person who was our official winner was Lillian Newell Reeder because she was the first to respond with the correct answer. And then we had some valuable insight and also the correct answer, secondly, from Stephanie Hammonds, attorney Stephanie Hammonds. And so if you go back to the web page on Facebook, you can see the wonderful comments and insight that Stephanie gave about Marvin Gaye and the title song, What's Going On. And then we also went nationwide. We had a brother out of Philadelphia, Dwayne Lucas, to respond with the correct answer, but he was our third person. So, with that being said, we just want to keep you all reminded to make sure you comment, listen out for the challenge questions, but also comment about the episodes, give your feedback, be it positive or constructive criticism, whatever it is. We entertain all dialogue. So that's going to take me into our first topic of today.
Before you go any further, would you please give our audience the answer to that question that I asked, musically speaking? Who were those two people?
Well, Mr. Cofield, I'm going to turn it back over to you since you were the one that came up with the wonderful challenge question.
That's a good one. Well, just a point of information, these two professional football players for the Detroit Lions, Lynn Barney and Mel Farr, were the voices in the background because at one time, believe it or not, Marvin Gaye tried out for the Lions. And he had a chance to build a relationship with Mel Farr and Lombardi. So that's how they were able to become a part of what was going on. So the answer is Mel Farr and Lombardi, just for
All
point of
right.
information.
All right. Sounds good.
All right.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about the village. And when I say the village, we're not just talking about a Kibadan village, but we're talking about the families, the people, the organizations, the companies, and the community as a whole, and how they surround themselves with our young people every day.
Hmm.
So when we say village, we're talking about something much bigger than just a building or a program. We're
Right
talking
on.
about a network of support.
You're right. And I'm glad you said that. But it's my dad told me some years ago, it's a poor dog that don't wag his own tail. So when we talk about the Kivalon Village, I have to say I am Marvis Cope, the CEO of Kivalon Village in Detroit, Michigan. Our address is 7701 Harper, one block west of Van Dyke. Telephone numbers 921-1616. I just want to set the record straight who I am and who I'm connected with. His number is me, but it's a we. With that being said, when we talk about the village, we know the village is a noun, a person, place, or thing, if you will. And the thing we're talking about is what I would like to use that same noun and make it a verb. And when I say a verb, it is the village approach. See, the village is not just geographical, but it's philosophical. It is the way one behaves as it relates to going back wherever he or she may be in that neighborhood, may it be in the church, may it be in a recreation center, may it be at home. Each one teach one, each one reach one. We are all connected. Therefore, your problem is my problem. In order to make sure we solve the problem, it has to be a we. So when I look at young people, and we talking, wow, man, somebody need to do something with that young person. He or she is out of their mind. Now, the question for me, we need to use the village approach. So have you villaged that person? What do you mean village? What does that mean? That means you are responsible to get with that young person in a respectful way. First and foremost, people don't care about what you know. They want to know if you care about them. So you got to first show them that you care about them. You're not doing it to be dogmatic. You want them to know, you want them to be the best that they can be. So you got to care and show your care, not talk about it, but you have to be about it. So once you do that, that child or that young adult says, well, man, this is the first time I had somebody who asked me how I was doing or how did I do in school today. That person usually say, man, you asked me a question. Do you really care about? Why would you ask me how I feel? Because I care about you. Why would you ask me, well, how was school today? Because I care about you. Because at the end of the day, you are our future, and we have to plant that seed and nurture that seed. So when we talk about the village, it is not just a noun, but it is, as I said earlier, a verb. We have to go out and village our children. If they're at home, the parents, the family, the elders, we're all connected. We call it Ujima, collective work and responsibility. So it's not just a me, but it's a we. So when we talk about the village approach, as I said earlier, it's not just geographical, but it's philosophical. It's a philosophy that we're all in this together. No matter if you're on the east side, west side, north side, the main thing I'm hoping one day that we all understand we got to get on God's side. And whether you do that or not, let's do the righteous thing, not the right thing. The righteous thing is making sure that we're connected with the values that the village talks about all the time. Make your community look better than you found it. Make sure you respect your elders. Make sure the children are first, not last. And make sure you do not do anything that you wouldn't be proud of in front of them, but most important when they're not around. So that's what I'm talking about when we're talking about a village approach.
Okay, Mr. Cofield. Well, that's definitely a very profound response, something that I concur with 100%. And so I am going to uh, make a small challenge to our listening audience to comment. Comment on this podcast and what you think about the village approach. What are you doing in terms of making sure that you use the village approach if you're for the village approach? I also just kind of recall something that I used to remember back in the day, and I think this would definitely be applicable to the village approach. It was like when you got in trouble and maybe your parents weren't around or your grandparents or whoever raised you, that neighbor would definitely call you out.
That's
Not
right.
only would they call you out, they might take a switch to your backside. And they could. And the parents didn't get upset because that was called the village approach in my way of thinking. The neighbor took you on as theirs and they wanted nothing but the best for you. And so that means the good, the bad, the ugly. And also, when you did good, you got accolades from your neighbors, from your church, from your teachers, your counselors. That's the village approach as well. We all come together to make sure that we're trying to uplift our community, especially our youth. So there you have it. Make
Right
sure you
on, my
comment.
sister. Right on. I couldn't have said it any better because we had to rebuild our neighborhood one brick, one building, one block at a time.
Absolutely. Okay, Mr. Cofield. So with that being said, let's segue into our music portion of
Uh-oh,
our
uh-oh. That's
podcast.
what I've been waiting on now. Some of you musicologists, those who think they know about the Motown sound and who were some of the singers, musicians, and writers, the, the musical challenge today is who was the first Motown singer who sold 1 million records? And what was the name of that song? Let me say that again. You million records, and what was the name of that song? That is the challenge for the day.
All right. So Mr. Cofield said that the music challenge of the day is what Motown artist was the first to record, to not record, but to sell 1 million copies, not 100,000, but 1 million. And
That's
what
right.
was the name of that song? So that's a great challenge question. That's our music challenge question of the day. And so that kind of brings me back to when we talk about Village. And we can't ignore how music has always been a part of our community.
Yes,
You
it
know,
has.
the heartbeat of music, the way that music guided us, the way that music inspired us. Sometimes even the way that music warned us about things
Come
that were
on.
going to happen. Going back to what's going on, Marvin Gaye.
Come on
And
now. Come
also,
on.
last but not least, reminding us who we are. So I love the music challenge. Just like last week and every week moving forward, we're going to have some type of music challenge because both Mr. Cofield and I love music. And the challenge, once again, say it again one more time, Mr. Cofield.
Challenge is who
Challenge.
was the first Motown recording artist who sold 1 million copies, records. And what was the name of that song?
All
You know,
right.
Mama Kenny, you said something was very significant about music. See, there's the messages in our music. I'm gonna leave it like that.
Absolutely. There's messages in our music. And sometimes, I have to say the message might not be so positive. But we'll get into that another on another episode.
I hear you, sister. I know
But
what
for
you
right
mean.
now, I think this is a good time to end this episode number 2. But before I go, just want to remind you, we entertain all comments, all constructive criticism. We ask you that you place a comment on Facebook, on the Akibalan Village page. We're also on YouTube. Make sure you go to YouTube, like and subscribe, tell a friend, call a friend, and tell them what we're doing over there at Akibalan Village in our community on the east side under the direction of Mr. Cofield, Marvis Cofield, Infudishi Cofield, one of the greatest leaders on the east side, the best side. That's it for me.
All right, my sister. Hotep. That means peace.